Jesus said, "This is the first and greatest commandment. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is like it. Love others as you love yourself." So the question is, do you love? I mean, do you really live the definition of love? Are you patient? Are you kind? Do you celebrate in the blessings of others? Are you humble? Have you died to self? Are you slow to anger? Do you keep no record of wrongs? Do you always protect, always trust, always hope, always persevere? This is what it means to love, the way God intended. So the question remains, do you love?
Bethany Church, we're excited to announce the launch of our new website, designed with you in mind. We understand that tithing and managing your giving can be a hassle, but our new website makes it easier than ever. Our website is mobile-friendly, making it easy for you to give on the go or during service, whether you are using your computer or mobile phone. Our website is fully responsive, ensuring a seamless user experience. You can easily give your tithes and offerings with just a few clicks, either as a one-time donation or set up a recurring donation. Recurring donations make it convenient for you to give regularly, so you never have to worry about forgetting. Make sure to include your envelope number when using the GiveLify app. Our website offers added security with a login feature, ensuring that your information is kept confidential. You can access your giving history at any time and keep track of your contributions throughout the year, or utilize our convenient text-to-give options to text your tithes on the go. At Bethany Church, we believe that giving is an act of worship, and our new website makes it more accessible than ever before. Visit gotobethany.com today and discover the power of giving with our new giving website. Thank you for your generosity.
chat box,
Yeah.
that you can have it create, a lawyer created his whole legal brief from it. Gave it the case and stuff like that. He created his whole legal brief, and he didn't realize it had some false cases.
Well, praise the Lord. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans, the #1, at David G. Evans, the #1. So glad you joined us today as we talk those things which we believe are pertinent to you navigating this life. No matter how challenging you think it may be, the Bible is clear. When you look at things from a kingdom point of view, the sons of Issachar, their mission was to understand the times, which we need to do, and then know exactly what to do, how to navigate the times that we live. And that content, that wisdom comes from those wisdom books in the Word of God. So we are glad that you're with us today. Joining us, our call-in numbers are 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. Join us, give us a call. And why don't you do us a favor today? Like us, subscribe to us. My son Chandler tells me all the time, hit that notification button and tag a few people, invite them on to the feed today. I have a very, 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 very special guest with me today. We have liberated the panel. There's not a man in sight except myself, a great pastor in Camden City, Pastor, Reverend, Apostle, Prophetess Psyche Wilcox.
Good morning, Bishop.
How you doing?
That's a whole lot of functions.
I'm trying to tell
go
you.
with all that title.
It's a whole lot of functions. Incredible series of events this week.
Yeah, definitely.
We can't have a program without politics being discussed.
Absolutely.
This AI thing has gone through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting all kinds of messages on my phone about investing in AI. Of course, there's so many, I don't know what to do at this point.
Yep.
We're looking at some very, I think, significant historical factors as it relates to the former president. I'm still surprised that he gets perturbed when he's not called the president. His brain and his heart is like locked in.
Yeah, entitlement has a way of throwing tantrums.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to preach that. Entitlement has a way of throwing tantrums. You know, that's so true. So, I'm just a little older than you. So I'm not as surprised about the former president as I am concerning the metamorphosis of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been alive long enough to see the transitions and the change in focus of the party. But I never thought I would see the Republican Party, who was law and order,
Yep.
God and country,
Yeah.
all of those things that, the Republicans stood for. Never thought they were concerned about working people, always thought corporations were their focus. How do you think they morphed into this?
The best analogy I thought, especially in the after the initial election in 2016 and everything, was you let a rabid dog in your enclosure.
Right.
And I think they thought they could control it, and it just totally got away from them.
What did they think they were going to control? I mean, you're going to put the man in the highest office. He's going to hire people that he thinks are going to, because people serve at the pleasure of the president.
Right.
So if you're going to control a rabid dog, you need to have the ability to do that. They showed no ability to do that at all.
I think they underestimated his ability to manipulate others and to get leverage from that type of influence. Because I think the at all costs, and when you lose your moral compass, right, then you'll use any means, but then you always think you're in control, but really the vice is it has control of you. And so by the time you realize it, it's like too late.
So they figured, we'll let him get in, but we'll be able to control the flow of things. And they lost control of it immediately.
Absolutely. And it has just shell shock and it's like an implosion.
But where's the well, I know a politician's top 3 concerns are get elected, get elected. Get elected. I understand those are the top three. You know, but what I was embarrassingly surprised at was that they were able to sacrifice the country for the seats.
Yeah.
Which tells me maybe the average voting person is not aware of the rewards of the seat, because it was just an underpaying job. Why would you lose your soul, your heart, everything?
Yep.
You know, I watched Pence follow the former president and look at him like he was something, and he's supposed to be a believer. He looked at him like he was a messiah or something.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure him out, because a lot of times he was just non-vocal.
Yeah.
So we often talk about how you can interpret silence either as agreement or you know, maybe not. But he still hasn't stood up strong to even be a front runner. So
they're afraid to. So then I'm back to the seat.
I mean, he's facing like 3 indictments.
I'm back to the seat because what they don't want is for him to get off and they have to suffer his wrath, because he's already threatened everybody that's against him.
Yeah.
But to see him sitting in court has to be a very difficult place for him to be with the ego that he seems to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I don't understand why the people that are supporting him don't see he has no real concern for anything other than himself. I remember when he was building casinos in Atlantic City. Mm-hmm. He forced a lot of people out of business, and the reason I know this, he never paid.
He never paid them. Got him into contracts, and he just totally almost bankrupt small business.
He did bankrupt. Mm-hmm. The only reason I know because I used to work out with one of the lead attorneys at the firm that covered the building down there and the construction in Atlantic City, and we were talking in the gym one day, and he just started telling me that people's children had to be taken out of schools.
Wow.
They lost automobiles, homes, businesses, every kind of financial connection because he did not pay them.
And didn't have any emotional remorse or anything attached.
I saw the interview when he was asked about it. I'm sitting in front of the television, and they ask him, well, how do you feel about, you know, the impact you've had on small business? He simply said, I didn't break any laws.
Wow. Because
his modus operandi was to get the service, then bankrupt the company that you've engaged with. He said, I didn't break any laws. So the people connected to this stuff, there was no concern.
Yeah.
The other thing that got me is we got pastors in New York, of course.
Yep.
And I was talking to Hudson one day. I said, Hudson, who is this guy? He said, you guys are surprised.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
We're not. He's been here all our lives. So he was a surprise to the nation, not to New York.
Yeah. His dealings, and I just, it's the lives that he's impacted, and even people that are blindly following his constituency. Mm-hmm. I think there was a level on the conservative side that he gave the different socio-demographic that are not always thinking clearly but are emotionally driven. He gave them value in their esteem and their self-worth that they didn't have before. Absolutely. And so they just blindly.
I remember seeing a few of the guys that were on the beginning of his campaign and went into his administration, and they were asked, Scaramouche, he was asked,
I remember.
Why?
Yeah.
And he said the feeling of being accepted and the adoration and admiration of being connected to him overrode everything for a minute.
Yeah. They drank the Kool-Aid.
Unbelievable.
They were blind by the...
So we got line 1, Robin from Delaware. We've got line 3. We'll see where that's Tom from Florida coming on. Give a couple more seconds for some more callers to get engaged, and we'll start talking about. Now, while we're talking about this, before we came on, you and I were talking about this AI technology.
Yeah.
Now, I profess I'm usually technologically disadvantaged, but I went on to ChatGPT, and they have this thing where you can kind of test it out.
Yep, absolutely.
So I went on there and I said, I put the title of the book in. If I was going to do a version of this, like this, and it went.
Absolutely.
Now, some of the information was incorrect. You have to edit it.
Yep, you have to verify it and tweak it.
Yeah, but it was.
It was something, wasn't it?
So how many jobs is this going to replace?
See, the word replace, I think it's going to be disruptive.
Okay, you don't think it'll replace them?
So let's talk about software development, because it can code. If you tell it.
Can it code?
Yes, it understands certain programming languages. So you could say, create me a program that does X, Y, and Z. And you tell it the language, and it will spit it back out. You can cut and paste, put it in your Absolutely. So this is the engineer. This is not the pastor talking. This is the engineer and the robotics expert talking now. Go ahead. So it brings into, so what does that do for software development, computer science people in the spectrum? Because to your point is, there's no human, you don't take the human out the loop. It really comes alongside and makes people more productive.
Okay.
But for a junior engineer, early career software program, I think it will make them more productive quicker.
Really?
They will there would be less of a gap between a fresh out of school developer and a senior developer that really has honed their skills. So I don't see it replacing. I can see, but again, the big issue and controversy is plagiarism. Like, is that okay? Is there
It's not okay. And I think Hollywood is having this issue right now because
with writers,
they're saying the scripts and everything can be replaced by AI.
Absolutely.
So, we happen to have one of the sons of the church is a writer and an actor.
Yeah.
So both sides of his vocation are on strike.
Exactly.
Now they can't replace the actor, but the writing and all can.
And I think that's where the industry wants to do. They want to squeeze out some of the writing because they know that they can get it generated. You can give it a plot, a novel, and it's not like it's natural language processing, and it can just do a lot more with a lot more data.
All right, you lose me. What's natural language processing?
It's the thing where it can read text and do inference, right? So that's why it can look at your email thread and then suggest what you should reply. I mean, we're seeing it subtly already. You just don't know it's AI. Same thing when you respond to somebody's post. If they see happy birthday, then it's going to give you, or someone's birthday, it's going to say, oh, you can say this, you can say that.
Wow.
So it's just processing, and that's how it can construct.
I'm watching the integration of AI in simple things like videos. Mm-hmm. And usually the way I can tell is there are some words that AI cannot pronounce correctly.
Right.
But if you're not listening for the inflections and the correct pronunciations, and there's some problem with some vowels and things like that, which I'm sure they're going to work out. I'm listening. I said, that's not a human being talking.
It's like if you're talking to someone from a different country. Sometimes the new.
But you can, if you're not listening for it though,
you're right.
You think it's a human being, but it's not scary to me at all. I just wonder. Human beings tend to use advances for good and evil, and I wonder what kind of underhanded strategies are being created now to use this to do things that are quite
absolutely
illegal.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. So now, just as an aside, Texas A&M settles with journalism professor for $1 million over failed hiring. He sued because they didn't hire him?
No, it's actually Kathleen McElroy. What it was, she was offered to be the director and also a tenured professor at the school.
Okay.
They gave her an offer. They did this big ceremony publicly in front of the building and all of that. But then when conservative groups began to look into, her research, her background on racial equity, then all of a sudden they started to walk back the offer.
Wow.
Right. To the point, the controversy blew up where even the school's president resigned in the midst of all of no kidding. So it started out a multi-year deal, tenure, then they took away the tenure, and then the final revision of the offer was a 1-year at will, which means you can be fired for no reason, anytime, and she declined it. And so, but between the time of the initial offer, the celebration of her, I think she's an alumni of the school, actually.
Okay.
Very, very well put together.
Okay.
And so all of that rolled out, and so national controversy that brought a lot of light to it. And so then the president resigned, and then she declined the offer, and I guess they just settled.
Well, what was do you know what the primary reason was for why they rejected her or changed their mind?
It's conservative pressure. The
No.
racial equity. Yes. They started looking at her research and things she said around racial equity and equality.
We don't have to affirmative act anymore, so we don't have to hire.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
So she sues them because she didn't get the job.
They
they didn't get the
So
job.
she's going to stay at I think she's at University of Texas Austin, so she's just going to stay there.
Do they want her now?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were fine with her. Yeah.
All right, because I chair the university board, and they can be a little spiteful if you let them.
Oh, yeah.
If you let them.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phones. We got Robin from Delaware. We got one question, Robin, calling us now. Good morning, Robin.
Bishop Style.
How are you this morning?
Good morning, Bishop, and good morning, Pastor
morning.
Wilcox.
Yep, Wilcox. Yep.
Wilcox, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Good. Nice to meet you.
She never talks that pleasant to me. I mean, you're getting all the syrup right now, Pastor Psyche.
Oh, Lord, here you go. But I'm enjoying the conversation, especially he was talking about the AI and how even now, Bishop, she's telling the truth. When you like doing the email, it'll say, you can say thank you in advance to put in the words that you can choose from. So it already does
that's
that.
AI.
Mm-hmm. That's AI.
I see how oblivious I am?
It's more immersive than you think in our lives already.
Because I get that all the time.
Yep,
Text
I
messages.
never knew that's what it was.
Emails, I get them all the time.
You type in the email, and it'll give you, suggestions to put in the email.
I've seen it. Didn't know what it was. I just thought they were, but it has to be AI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow. You gotta be careful with technology.
Because it's telling me how to finish a
and
sentence.
that's what I meant by the natural language processing. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Bishop, I'm not going to
You won't have to worry about anybody finishing a sentence for you, Robin. Your AI will do it for you.
No, you did, Bishop. Okay. You know what, Pastor Wilcox, this is what I go through. But
Every
you know
Saturday.
what? Almost 19 years I've been under Bishop this
We
month.
love you.
And I love my Bishop.
Congratulations.
I love my Bethany family. I love Pastor Nick. I just love you. But I'm not going to be long, Bishop.
You already are.
I wanted to say your 33rd pastoral anniversary was such a blessing to me, and I know it's a blessing to a lot of people that watch online and that were there. Prophet Daniel Amate, when he talked about covenant, it reminded me, remember when he said somebody asked him, how come, we pray for others, but ours don't get, answer right away? Remember I asked you that question last month?
No, I remember.
Well, anyhow, I asked you that question last month. You explained it to me, and he just confirmed.
Good.
He confirmed, especially with the illustration that he did, where, you cry, prayer, heard, remember, covenant, delivered. Pastor Jamal Bryant, are there any volunteers? I remember when you told your story when God knocked on your door, and you said you at the wrong door.
Yeah.
He was calling you.
Always rebellious.
He was calling you, and I'm thankful that, he did, and that you was obedient, and you took the calling, because 33 years has really helped a lot of us, and I know it's helped me with the years that I've been there.
I appreciate that.
I was hard-headed.
Oh,
yes, it took me some time.
You?
I think about it now. I think about when I joined 2004. I'm like, wow, if I had just paid attention and listened.
I think you underestimated. You just called yourself hard-headed. It was much more difficult than that.
You think so? Okay, see, I fell into that.
You're throwing the pictures this morning, Robin.
I know. Look, he's showing off for you. That's what you're doing. He's really messing with me. But we'll get him. But I want to ask this question, and I'm done. I was just reading where the Justice Department on Friday asked a federal judge overseeing the criminal case against former President Donald Trump in Washington to step in after he released on his social media post online that appeared to be promised revenge on anyone who goes after him.
Protective custody. He wanted.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, the judge was asking
What's the story?
Protective custody because, Trump,
against her?
No, Trump is threatening revenge. So the judge involved wanted...
Is he silly? I mean, the guy loses a civil suit.
He's consistent.
The guy loses a civil suit. And the next time he opens his mouth, he slanders the woman that he just won the money from. So I think he has that liberty because he's spending other people's money. He's not spending his own.
He's consistent.
Well, he's notoriously
he's
consistent.
Vindictive. He's petty.
Most people would have sense enough to say that out loud, though.
You would think.
He said he's going after the judges, the attorneys, anyone that goes against him.
If he's president.
No, he's talking about
it
now.
has nothing to do with presidency.
How's he going to do that?
No, he's flexing.
He's too old. He's too old and fat to flex.
Bye, Bishop.
All right,
that's all I have. Love you guys.
Talk to you, man. Bye-bye.
All right, Robin.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. I'm Bishop David G. Evans. This is past our world famous guest, Pastor Psyche Wilcox. Give us a call, 866-743-8267. We got our Florida contingent on the line. We're going to Tom, the erudite cosmopolite, intelligentsia representing Tom from Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing?
All right, man. You like that introduction this morning?
Good morning.
You're gonna send me a couple dollars for that introduction, okay?
Bishop. Can
you hear me, man? Come on, man.
Yeah, okay. It was like we were mixed up there for a minute. Bishop, what the president, our ex-president, said directly was, if you go after me, I'm going after you. That's where the protective order comes in, because he's threatening basically any and everybody. And
is he allowed to do
that?
That,
he said he would like the Supreme Court to intervene on what's going on.
That's kind of stupid. Well, I know they're a rogue Supreme Court, but I don't think they're that rogue.
But the thing, him speaking like that, is the same thing with the insurrection, where he can suggest a thing, decree a thing, and that thing manifests. So I think people involved would want to take it as a credible threat.
But you know what? I think they have to, but it tells me he normally tells on himself. So he goes after people that don't agree with him. He usually tells you what he's going to do or what he's going to attempt. But it's usually what he accuses other people of doing. I find it to be notoriously consistent. All you have to do is listen to him, and he will reveal what he's doing behind the scenes all the time. So he's already got people looking at folk, trying to dig up dirt on folk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Something else you guys were saying earlier. Why do people support him? He preferences everything with, I am protecting you, or they're coming after me because they're coming after you.
He's fundraising.
And he brings the people who are drinking the Kool-Aid, he has them in that same, like, oh, it's not me they're coming after, it's you, and I represent you.
He's fundraising.
He's got a hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, he's fundraising. Every time he opens his mouth, he's fundraising. It's amazing to me.
Where the polls jump after he.
Absolutely, and his giving goes through the roof. So Tom, does your governor have a shot?
I think when the real deal comes out, our governor is going to be he's too afraid to go head to toe at Trump. And literally, the more he is hung out there in front of the public, you can see his flaws. Crazy things. Something that you guys probably wouldn't talk about, but really bugged me last week. Because of the Parkland shootings where the individual who did it got sentenced to life in prison instead of death, now they changed the law here in Florida. You do not have to have a unanimous decision for the death penalty. All it has to be is 8-4, not 12-0.
Did you hear that?
No.
Yes, because he got it changed because of this one guy. He personally took it so personal, he got the state to change. Literally, you can go into court now, and there's a case where an individual, I think he's guilty, but I don't know, He killed his wife and the father-in-law, but nobody saw him do it. And he's going to be on a panel where he doesn't have to have a unanimous decision to put him in the chair.
Wow.
So I think our governor does things that, and I can't believe that the state lets him get away with it.
Well, Tom, let me ask you this. Do you think he really wants to be president, or do you think he's fundraising, getting money that he does not have to return?
I thought about that, Bishop. Now, this guy, deep down, his ego wants to be president. He's not going to make it, and his alternative may be to become a rich man. But his main motivation, and not just him, his wife was the catalyst, I believe, for him to try to achieve that point in being president. And in the back of his mind, I think he still thinks he has a shot, even though he doesn't.
I think he's content. You know, when you're running track and field and you're qualifying in qualifying heats, you qualify if you're the fastest loser. I think he's content to be the fastest loser in this thing, man.
Oh yeah,
because he's going to get paid not to win.
Yeah, and there's too many other candidates that are definitely way above him.
Can you really call them candidates? I mean, they're at 2%, 1.5%. Are they really candidates?
No, not really.
Dead heat for last.
Not really. They're just hanging out there.
And maybe they're hanging on because they're anticipating him not being able to run. Because I believe his whole thing is get back in, pardon myself, get this stuff wiped away. I just think that's it.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
He can't be president again.
That's scary, Bishop, but...
Because they're already talking about they want legislation which gives him the ability to just stop anything he wants to stop, including the checks and balances of the government.
Yeah.
But you have people that are supposed to be politicians and supposed to be people that are pro-America that are going along with this nonsense.
Lindsey Graham.
Don't talk about it.
I don't understand. I mean, months ago...
Don't talk about it.
He was like, I'm off the train. But he's right back on the train.
He never was off the train. He was looking out the window.
Oh, no. Yeah.
He was looking out the window. That's all.
Yeah. Something a little different. AI.
Yeah.
I cannot stand when I do an email or a message and I don't look at it real close and it's been changed. And I go, I didn't say that.
Is it at that extent now where it's actually changing things?
You better check what you're sending before
the autocorrect when you're typing.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Sometimes it's maybe suggestion. That's why the more you use it, it'll get used to what you say and it'll get more accurate from suggesting.
So you're telling me the AI will get more aggressive?
Aggressive.
Is that what you're saying?
Don't dictate. You better be typing because if you're dictating, it's definitely.
It's a problem then?
Well, that's because the speech recognition is involved at that point. So,
well, then we've had AI for a long time, the speech recognition.
Yeah, it's come a long way. I mean, it's taken a while, some decades, but that's Siri, all of those, it's improved a lot than it was 20, 30 years ago.
I was a little slow in the uptake, so I'm driving my car, it does some things. So I'm headed to a meeting with Anthony a couple of weekends ago. Mm-hmm. And I, don't know what's ahead. And all of a sudden, the navigation is telling me to go this way, that way, and the other way. And I'm like, why are you taking me this way? Mm-hmm. I didn't ask it.
Right.
So based on the traffic, it altered my route, took me away, looked like it was taking me way out of the way. Mm-hmm. And the car took me way around the problem. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that was interesting. Yeah. But then the dealer explained to me, he said, your car's practically all computer now. So I'm driving with artificial intelligence now?
A little bit.
A little?
If you know the
it brakes when I don't want it to.
The driving app Waze?
Yeah.
Now you can configure it to have a personality. So when it's talking back to you, you can have a little bit more of a conversation.
Where are we going with all this?
And it'll say, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of this drive already.
So, here's But you know what? Years ago, I was headed to Hampton, and I couldn't figure out the navigation.
Yeah.
So the navigation was looking like, you're not headed home. So I'm in Virginia, no, Maryland by this time, and the car says to me, "Is everything all right?" So I'm like, "What do you mean? Is everything all right?"
Are you okay?
You can pull over. There's a lot here. You can pull over and turn around and head home. Cause
it was saying you were going in the wrong direction.
I'm going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And they kept telling me, turn around at this place, turn around when you get to this, turn around when you get to this Acme Market, turn around. And I'm like, I can't change it. Turned it down, kept going. Finally I'm in Maryland. Right? Yeah, and asked me if I was all right. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Oh. I like the rerouting, because I knew I had missed my turn or something. Now sometimes it won't even tell you it's redirecting you. It'll just do it.
I just experienced that going to Phoenixville.
Yeah, and I have to die.
It just took me.
Yeah.
I'm following along just like I'm a minion, and I know the way there, and the directions they were giving me, it looked like they were incorrect.
Yeah.
But it ended up where I needed to be. So it was a good thing, but it's intrusive.
It is.
Okay, Tom.
I just look for the setting of off.
I have one little crazy question for Reverend Wilcox.
Yeah, she's technical, man.
When it comes to AI, what do you think about the craziness like Terminator and Matrix and it going to another level?
I think we're much further away from something like that.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, that's a little bit more sci-fi, right?
I know it's sci-fi, but I'm wondering if we're talking 10, 20 years down the road to where we get this...
Like iRobot you're talking about? And Sonny being...
Exactly.
Well, you're a robotics person. Tell me, how far away do you think? You don't think they're going to put their artificial intelligence?
Oh, they're going to push the limit.
Okay.
I mean, people's vision and passion for this is real. And so it's going to be progressive and move forward. I'm just saying, even with speech recognition, how we got to the level of the Siri accuracy, it took 20, 30 years. I mean, when I was a senior in college, I did a speech recognition project.
I'm sure. Go ahead, tell us about it.
Well, you had to interview so many people.
Yeah.
Because of the different pronunciation and all that. So, but back then, I didn't think we would be using it the way we are now, right? So the technology is just progressive. And technology makes lives faster, more convenient, right?
Yeah, but it debilitates us at the same time.
I just say proceed with caution. And I just always like, not to be led by it. Like you're assisting me. So that's my approach.
Okay.
So I'm not just going to be blindly
Because I remember when it first came out, it was something to do with a turtle. And you could dictate something like that. And it was pretty good. It wasn't fast enough. The voice recognition wasn't developed.
Yep.
But now it's picking up patterns. Well, your phone is using it.
Exactly. And eavesdropping on you.
I heard that also.
Well, I don't have my phone on me, but even if we were talking in Siri, I have Siri enabled. By the time I go back, I'm going to see all kind of ads on ChatGPT, AI, because it's eavesdropping.
Okay.
It's waiting for me to say, hey, Siri, to take a command, but it's continually listen.
So and you have to turn it off.
Settings. Shoot.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
You see?
I see it.
Siri just responded on my tablet.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We're talking about politics, but we're also talking about AI, and we happen to have a expert here to help us with the understanding. Yeah. They tell me the ones that can really do it don't have to talk about it much, so that's okay. So we understand. We have a genius in our midst, and we're happy about it. So, how do you think, when is AI going to start writing sermons?
Well, I did something interesting. You could probably almost do it now with ChatGPT, hands down.
Really?
I was doing a series midweek on becoming and just being all that you can be. And I wanted some social media content for our Bible study thing, and I didn't get a chance to talk to the media team, and I put in, I say, hey, I'm doing a Bible series on this. Write me a social media post with that. Boom, boom. 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
So I'm sure it can do a sermon.
It would be very easy to become almost dependent on that convenience rather than the work.
Well, if you're spiritual, then it's one thing to have scripture and text.
Right.
It's another thing to have the word.
Right.
So AI is not going to replace the revelatory nature of the Spirit of God. So that's just me on that. But you can definitely come up with a very well put together sermon. Yes, you absolutely could. But you didn't raise us that way.
You don't think guys are going to start doing that, do you?
They do it on YouTube now. They just copy somebody else's sermon.
Well, that's true.
So what's the difference between?
I've had plenty of pastors tell me to my face, we use your stuff right.
Verbatim almost.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's done already in the bag.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Let's go to Danny. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Bishop. Good morning, Pastor Wilcox. How you doing today?
Good morning.
How you doing, man?
Okay, pretty good. I just want to reiterate something that a previous caller said. Congratulations to you on your anniversary.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
We love you and we thank you for all that you have done.
I appreciate it.
Years. I mean, that we have really benefited a lot.
I appreciate it. Were you able to catch any in the service last week?
Oh, very good. Very
Okay.
good. Very good. Outstanding as usual.
Yeah, both of them were were really on their games.
Yes.
How's my sister doing?
Blessed and highly placed.
You always
truly
says
blessed.
He always says that all the time. She's truly blessed, huh?
Yes.
All right. Tell her I'm still praying for her, all right?
Something I want to mention, and you gave me some food for thought to think about some things.
Okay.
And you're on point as usual. And the thing about it, if you don't know your past, you can't learn from the future. So you don't repeat the same mistakes.
Right.
And what's happening here in Florida, you asked me the question, why is it that you are so in tune or staying with Florida, different things that happens there?
Okay.
You have to know the past to understand it. And then once you understand the past, you can see what's happening with the future, what they're trying to do. And I'm just going to mention 2 cities.
Okay.
They don't exist anymore.
Okay.
Well, one of them does exist. But once you learn the history of it, then you will understand it better. One is Rosewood, Florida.
Rosewood, Florida. Never heard of it.
Okay. Look it up, and we'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
And the other one is Ocoee, Florida. That's Ocoee.
Okay, I've seen the sign before.
So, yeah, exactly. Because when you come from the airport, you have to go there in order to go where you may be speaking. You see the big sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but if you would look that up, and we'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
All right. But so many things that have happened, and what happened is that this past week, the governor challenged the vice president to come and talk history. But he want to talk his story, not our story.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
As to what exactly happened. Because what they did, and they're not listening to the local people.
Okay.
You gave us an example. You were on a committee, and they came for the president election, and you gave them some hints, some things that they should do.
Right.
But they were not listening to what you were saying.
Right.
As a result, they lost a lot of votes.
Absolutely.
Okay? Well, the same thing is happening here, is that she should have, my feelings, accepted the challenge and pull the proof out, some things that happened in history and what they're trying to go back to.
So the time that she did come, you're not talking about that incident. You're saying she had an additional invitation?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I had never heard about that. Did you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And nice. My opinion, she should have investigated, and they still can do it. Check with some people that are here, that know the history, know what happened, and expose what is going on.
All right, give us an example, because you You're being cryptic this morning. Tell us what you're talking about.
I want you to look and see it for yourself.
Yeah, but we believe you. Go ahead and tell us.
Okay, is that these cities, they had a situation where they came in under the old rule, the old things that happened, where he's telling us that slavery was beneficial for us.
Okay.
What happened? They came into these cities. They killed all the citizens that were there. They were predominantly black.
Okay.
All right. Now, you talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What they did down here is far worse. But the thing about it, we never hear about it.
I never knew there was any tragedy connected to Ocoa.
Please look it up.
I know there's...
And also Rosewood.
Yeah, I know there's cities, like if you Google black cities that no longer exist or black towns that no longer exist, there's like 20 or so of them that I would have to go back. But I have looked, I don't recall those particular names, but there are some towns that
Please look it up.
Just totally wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you'll understand what's
across
happening.
The country in the U.S.
And what have you? We didn't have novelists or people to do research on it, to pass it down and what have you. But it was all told to us as kids. I remember them saying things, but don't mention it. This is what happened.
Now are you a lifelong Floridian?
Yes.
Okay. So you would have a lot more understanding than we would have, because most people's concept of Florida beaches, Disney World, Miami Beach.
And when you see where the location of these places are, you will understand better.
So it probably was close to the shore. Probably property is valued now at incredible levels. I get it, because there's this lady in South Carolina, I believe, and Tyler Perry and a couple people are trying to keep her from taking her land.
Keep her land, yeah.
But that's been a struggle for the people of color that own that land anyway. Because Hilton Head, I understand, was primarily owned by black African Americans.
Yep.
And only a few have held out. Now I don't know what kind of money they've been offered, but it probably is nothing close to yet.
Yeah.
Nothing close to.
It may be more money than the family has ever seen offered to them, but it's nowhere near the market value.
Wow.
But
everything else good, Dan?
Very good. I can't complain. Except for the weather.
Why, it's hot, cold? What's going on?
Well, we get the morning rain, and then we get the afternoon storm.
That's Florida. Oh, really?
Yes, and with that, it's still extremely hot. You go into, if it's not in the 90s, it's in the hundreds.
Wow. That's every day?
So, every day. It's a regular weather pattern.
And that's weird. We have your weather right now. It's a little cooler. Wow. It's not hot. We're in the 80s, that kind of thing. But they can't tell me climate hasn't changed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, where are the people that were saying there's no such thing as climate change?
Still saying it.
There's a measurable manifestation.
Yes. Talk to you, Dan.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye-bye now.
Stop.
This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device worldwide at David G. Evans 1. David G. Evans, the #1. Our special guest this morning, Pastor Psyche Wilcox. I'm Bishop David G. Evans. We're talking about those things that concern you. Give us a call, 866-743-8267. We're going to LaRonda here in New Jersey. Hey, LaRonda. Hello?
Hi, Bishop.
How are you?
Fine. I'm blessed, Bishop. I just want to thank you. Hi, Bishop. I just want to thank you, Bishop. Fine. I moved to Florida, and I moved to Florida back in April, but I moved back to New Jersey for many reasons. But you said on last month, by the end of July, something like by July 31st, you had said that about getting keys to apartments and houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You said you prayed up for everybody. And Bishop, I wanted to thank you. And that prayer came through, and I got my keys.
Yes. Praise the Lord.
And I want to say thank you, hallelujah. And I got my keys, and I got it before. I got it right after, like a week after you said that first Sunday, Bishop. And I want to thank you.
God bless you.
And I want to say I'm a member of your church. I've been a member for so long. I love you, Bishop. and I say that prayer, I said, I don't know if you was talking to me. I just knew you was talking to me. I knew you was talking to everybody in the congregation, but I just knew you was talking to me that day. But Lord,
God bless you,
Lord,
girl.
answer my prayers, and Lord, thank you, Bishop, and thank you so much. You said some keys, some doors would be open, and guess what, Bishop? I got my key.
Wonderful.
And you said it.
Lord is good.
Amen.
Congratulations.
Yes, I just wanted to, shout and have, let everybody know my testimony, everything like that.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Bishop.
God bless you.
Now, and I'll see you in church this Sunday.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Bishop.
Bye-bye. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We got Tracy from Philly. Hey, Tracy.
Yes.
How are you? Good morning. Welcome to On Point.
Good morning.
What's your comment today?
Oh, I was just making a comment about Rosewood.
Yes.
They actually had made a movie about it. Ving Rhames was in it.
Okay.
Oh, that one.
Is that the same Rosewood?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it the same Rosewood, Florida?
Actual, movie. And I'm sorry. Good morning, Bishop.
Turn your device down. Turn your device down in the background.
Also, I just want to say congratulations on your anniversary. Thank you so much for being vigilant and blessing us with the word.
Thank you.
It has really been life-changing for me.
God bless you.
And I just thank you so much.
Well, stay strong. We'll see you.
All right. God
All
bless.
right. Take it easy now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, how do you think this thing with former president is going to turn out? Do you think it's going to get? I mean, he's got enough charges. They got to get him on something.
I'm hoping so he can be ineligible to run.
Yeah.
So, I think so he was indicted on 4 charges,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so 3 of them are conspiracy.
Right.
So what's interesting to me are the co-conspirators, because conspiracy is simply the agreement to commit a crime.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious how that's going to all play out, and obviously obstruction and all of that. But I mean, I know he's Teflon John.
Well, I think he seems nervous. He seems nervous to me now. His countenance is just a little different. I think he never thought he'd end up sitting in court, having to listen to a bunch of charges, and being indicted. I don't think his ego would allow him to see himself that way. However, his problem is going to be the people that work for him, because not everyone is willing to go to jail for someone else. His other problem is he can't really talk about anyone witch hunting him, when most of the people that they've called for witnesses that they got the evidence from are people he appointed, and they're staunch Republicans.
Yep, absolutely.
So now what I'm looking at is a scenario where people are calculating their survival out of this thing, because the reputations have already taken damage, which he doesn't mind ruining somebody else's reputation. Their reputations have been damaged, and now they're simply trying to get as far away from the trouble as they can. And they've got to testify against him for that to happen.
Yeah, or be pulled in on the co-conspiracy, especially legal counsel, all of that. So I think some of the conversation was trying to say, did he really believe he had won and lost? Because those are the nuance of legal matters as to his intent, right?
Yeah.
But we know full well, that he
was. But I'm not sure. I could be wrong about this. I could be a little idealistic about this particular point. So if I believe that the money in the bank is mine, does my belief preclude it from being illegal when I rob the bank?
That's a good analogy.
I thought so.
That's a good one.
So
because that's literally what the election results.
I don't believe it. So that was why I tried to bribe Georgia into giving me more votes.
Absolutely.
So my belief does not eliminate the crime.
Yeah.
But the criminal mind believes what they desire is right anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the criminal mind also believes that they won't be detected. That's the criminal mind. Mm-hmm. So you want the office as badly as you do. So what's that my grandma used to say? The end doesn't justify the means.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, it's going to be something.
We got 5 minutes left. Let's see what's going on tomorrow. So, communion tomorrow night at 6. Wow, you don't want to miss it. Our communions have been just amazingly revival type. Of course, 11 a.m. you want to be a part of what we're doing. 8 a.m. is our virtual service. So 8 a.m. we're virtual, 11 a.m. is live, 6 p.m. is live. You want to come and be a part of what the Lord is doing here. If you need to be baptized tomorrow night, you need to call extension 114 here at the church. You'll get your instructions, tell you when to get here. We'll have everything ready for you. But if you're supposed to be baptized, need to be baptized, we need you to get here at least by 4:30 so we can get you ready to get baptized before the communion service begins. And call extension 114 for any detail you would need. Of course, again, tomorrow is our Sunday worship. Wednesdays, we have a noon Bible study and a 7 p.m. That's our midweek impact services. We'd love to see you out. A lot of our seniors come at noontime.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do that nighttime driving and stuff. And the way those halogens are, I can't blame them sometimes.
I'm sure they're glad that's back.
Oh, man. Come on. It's a crowd up in here. So if you got a prayer request, you want to email it to social@gotobethany.com. We love to touch and agree with you. And want you to follow us on all our platforms, David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ. For Pastor Psyche Wilcox. Now, wait a minute. Before we go, they got a leprosy outbreak in Florida.
Yeah. Central Florida.
Leprosy.
Yes, I know. Ancient, well.
That's biblical.
It is. But apparently we still have several cases a year, but for some reason, most of the times, there are cases where people have traveled out of the country and come back. But this particular endemic, I guess is what they're calling it, most of those people haven't traveled anywhere. So
leprosy.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Does that have any holy connotations for you? Is it coincidental that it happened in Florida? I mean, but I'm just saying.
I don't know.
So our former president pleaded not guilty, which we expected.
Yep.
And the 2 expelled Tennessee Democrats were reelected, much to the pain and discomfort of. At some point, I need to ask you about this Carly Russell fake kidnapping. What?
Oh my goodness.
The desire for attention so intense?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. It's she's got 2 misdemeanors. I mean, I guess maximum, maybe she's facing possibly a maximum of a year or like $6,000 in fines for each, but I don't know if she'll do either.
So the whole thing was fabricated?
It was. The whole thing. They still don't, well, she hasn't said publicly where she was. I mean, she's made a statement through her attorney, but no one knows where she was. But yes, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pastor Psyche, it's been a joy. I'm so glad you deigned to join me today. Pastor Nick is at a family reunion. Yeah. And it's just good to have you here with us today.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you, and the celebration was great. I was able to catch it online, and we really appreciate you.
Well, your people were here, so we were happy.
Yeah.
we were just sorry you.
I was warm.
Oh,
right?
Flight guys. I got the text. I'm like, the flight's canceled. Oh.
Yeah,
Did they say why?
Weather.
Was it weather?
Yeah, weather pattern came through. A lot of flights were delayed and canceled, and redirected and all that stuff.
Well, it's been fabulous. Thank you for joining me. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. Join us tomorrow. We'd love to have you at 8, 11, and 6. 11 is live, 6 is live here in the sanctuary. You don't want to miss it. It's been a tremendous time in the Lord. Now remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time on Point.